What's up, people? So yesterday I uploaded a video and didn't realize I had my sound option off, like to record sound, which was fantastic. Let me tell you, 20-minute video of just raw silence and you seeing me do stuff, which was amazing. I it just shows you I don't go back to check to see if the recording is fine. But it's not going to be a tutorial technically today. It's going to be something a little different. What I'm going to try to show today actually involves this thing. Yeah, an R46, an old R46, but still a train, nonetheless, that anyone can use soon. Why is this going to be the topic of the video? Well, simple. Too many groups out there do not have trains to use or have terrible trains, to be put frankly. I am going to literally release this soon, with the exception of a few things. The trucks will be different because those are the trucks that are on this train currently. This is straight out of CVID. Those are not mine. So yeah. Something else as well is that I'm just gonna kind of explain like how everything works on the train, and then you guys can go from there. And so when it's released, you guys kind of have like a tutorial of like how everything works and what you should be doing. Now, this is a really old train. I'm just putting that out there now. I'm not saying that the train itself is old in terms of like it's like, oh, 2005, you're playing with a train from 2005. Oh, cancel him. No. All I'm saying is this will be released soon. And you know, it's not like up to date with like how I script now. Granted, because it's an old train, right? It's like the first train that I actually finished and built. So that's great. So without further ado, I guess I'll explain how like everything works. First things first is that this is the hierarchy. If you don't know what hierarchy means, it doesn't matter. It's just like this is how it's laid out. There's something called front, and then the other ones are just different cars. You can change the name of front, but just be sure that if you change it here, you change it in the script as well, because yeah. The reason this is called front, however, is because the way I had scripted the spawner in CVID, which is older than this. The spawner in CVID is older than this train. It required you to have it named front so that it can find the part in the front of the train, which is what it would use to help spawn it in different locations. Without that, with that out of the question now, how do we use the train? Where does everything go? How does everything work? Yeah, it's very simple, actually. If you've scripted before, this shouldn't be hard. Although my scripting is a little weird, so I'll explain to the best of my ability. What we'll do is we'll start with the local script. If you don't know what the difference is between a local script and a server script, it's quite simple. Local scripts run on your computer, while server scripts runs on Roblox's servers themselves. Local scripts are good for, and they only work really for things that are on your UI, for example. A UI is a user interface, obviously, something that's on your screen, so like where you would click to open the doors and stuff like that. So just bear that in mind. There's a local script and a server script. Server scripts handle everything on the server. If you want to make a local script communicate to the server, like there's steps in play. If you don't mess with anything else, and you leave everything as is, but like just change stuff like destinations, you won't break anything. And if you do break something, feel free to come into my Discord server and ask around, or just not even the Discord server, but just go into any place, I guess, for the CVID game as a whole, and I can assist you. Like it could be the group wall, or just if you see me in game, I can try to assist you if anything. So with that in mind, it is worth noting that this is more simple than what you may think, but yet more difficult, and I'll explain that here. So, okay, here's the local script. Immediately, right as you get here, you'll see certain things, and I'll try to explain everything that's in this script just so that it's easier for everyone. But oh, sorry if I sneeze. I have allergies. If you have allergies, then you know the vibes. But yeah. You didn't hear it, but I sneezed. All right. Okay. So there's numbers, there's letters, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Right now, I will explain all of this. I promise. We will start with what's at the very top of the script and just slowly go down, and I'll explain how like everything kind of works in a way, just so that you guys have an understanding of how the local script itself functions as a whole. So let's get this started. All right. My allergies are going to be the death of me. Summer is awesome, but it sucks for people with allergies. All right. So we'll start at the very top of the script. The first line is a object value. Object values is just something that Roblox can use, or scripters can use, to kind of find something without having to script all of it. So that's what that means. The second line is just the camera type, which is the old vehicle camera. Some people like it, some people hate it. People hate it because you can't go into like a real first person. It's like a little bit above, which is usually like in the confines of like the ceiling of the train cab or something like that. But you know, you could just remove this and it'll be the new vehicle camera, but be mindful, the new vehicle camera kind of sucks and it reacts with anything that's underground. So you will have issues. So just keep that in mind when you're working with it. All right. Next piece of information, scroll lock. It is very simple. It is not difficult. This is a value. Okay. Anything like that has this little picture right here, like the little finger, it's called a value, right? And you could use local values in scripts, which means that it's not an actual physical thing, but it's something that the script can use within itself, right? Now, scroll lock, what this does is that it just prevents the player from clicking another option while it's already scrolling. That's what that means. Now, if you remove this, it's going to break something with the script down here. So I would highly recommend you don't. But you can disable this if you want to, but just be mindful that when, say, the script is scrolling from the air train, which is position 0, all the way to blank, which is position 28, and you have scroll off as false, which means that you can click something else, but it's still scrolling. Let's say that you set it up that way, and then you click yellow S, right, which is YS here. It will literally like take triple the time because it's thinking that you're already at 28, even though you're not. So do not disable this. Do not touch this unless you know what you're doing, please. This up here, the local front row sign, all this does is it kind of just, it tells you where everything is. And so if you know how to work with UIs and Surface GUIs and stuff, you know that there's positions for things on your frame. And so with that in mind, essentially you have your roll signs here, right? So let me just try to get the signs for this right here. So we're in not in service, which should be all the way practically at the end. You will understand why these frames are here. But if you see the scroll UI, which this is the actual piece that scrolls left and right, you can see that we're at position 25. And we're 29 bit, which means that you can go a max of 28, which is blank, right? Because it starts at 0, not at 1. So if we go all the way to 0, you can see it's the air train, right? So right here it says air is 0, A is 1. So let's go to DQ, right? So this is 14. So this would be negative 14, and this should be the diamond Q. See? Just like that. So that's basically how that works. I'm going to set it back to where it was before, just so that we don't break anything in the script. Say that you want it to start from a different position. You can set it that way, but just be wary. I'm pretty sure, and we'll check this out later in the video, but I'm pretty sure that I have it set up in the actual script, which is in the stuff folder right here. We see previous to start at 25. If you want, like, let's say that you want to set it up as the A, which the A is position 1, right? So let's go to A, position 1. If you want it to start from here, instead of the script thinking that it's starting from all the way back there, you just go in here and just change this to 1. That's all you got to do. So now it's going to think that it's going to know that we're starting from there. Okay. My newer scripts aren't like this, thankfully, but in the time when I scripted this, which was like months, almost years ago, this is the best thing I could come up with. Okay. Don't hate. So that's what that means essentially. Okay. After that, you got, what is this called? back to the local script, you have this information down here. Now, this is actually really simple and really easy. There's nothing complicated about this, and I will guide you through this process real quick in terms of what it does and what it means. Okay, so if you take a look at it this way, this stores information. This is all this does. This just is storing information of the displays on the side, while this holds information for what's on the front. Now, if you want to change this to not have all these signs or whatever, you can. But just again, you'd have to change it in the frame itself, you know. And if you want to add something else, it's as simple as just, okay, I want another one under blank that comes after blank. So now this is position number 29, and we can rename it to something like LOL. And then all we do is we can make the scroll UI, or actually let me make sure of something. Okay, we can make the scroll UI a little bigger. So now it can be 30, right? Because now it's 30 different pictures that is showing up. And then now we technically have 2 blanks because I don't have a picture to use for LOL or whatever. But now we have LOL in the script. So now it knows that LOL, whatever that may be, is at 29. You can move this somewhere else to like position 9, let's say, but then you'd have to replace all the numbers going down. So like, unless you want to do that whole process, or you could just restart this whole script from the beginning, like just delete all of this and just have, you know, go in your order, however you want to set it up. But just essentially that's what this does. So now it knows that LOL is at position 29. This actually, these names are important because they go based off of buttons, which means if we go back to the train UI, not the billboard, roll sides, bullets, right? The bullets, so that means the front and the back of the train. All these buttons are named accordingly to what is here. This is just to make it more easier for you. Instead of you having to script every single button directly, you can just script it by, or not even script it. All you have to do is just paste a new button in the list, name it LOL, reposition it somewhere else, and then it'll automatically say, oh, that LOL button, we have it on the list. Okay, so he wants us to go to 29. If you have a button that is not named the same thing as what's in the front roll sign, it will not scroll. It might break the script. So just make sure that everything here is named correctly. And even if you do, like, even if it breaks, Roblox has made this handy thing called an output, which is this right here. You can open it in view, and this will just tell you everything that's wrong. If something broke, if there's an error, you can just work from it from there. Don't be afraid to look anything up. But if it says like is nil, like NIL, like nil, it just effectively means it can't find what you're looking for. So keep that in mind. Nil means cannot find, or like it returned as nil. So it maybe it did find it, but it's not the same thing that you asked for. So now that we have that, LOL is 29. Let me get to the... Oh, this has a grid layout, which is perfect, which means you don't even have to reposition it. You just make a new one and it'll auto-position. But if we was to take this UI and put it in starter GUI, so we can take a look at what we're doing here, and open the roll signs right here, visible, you can see that there's the blank one, right? So now if I was to take the blank right there and just name it, I'm gonna just put text LOL, and I rename this to LOL, the same way how it is in the script. Now, when I click this, it'll go all the way to position 29. You don't have to script anything else. It's really easy, okay? That's it. That's all there is to it. Same thing goes with the LCD, but the LCD is pretty small in the sense of how much more things you can add onto it. So to make this bigger, all you really have to do is, first of all, resize all of these to the correct size. And no, I don't mean go one by one by one. No, don't, because that's going to take forever. There's a plugin you can get called Auto Scale. Okay, it's free. You can just go here, unit conversion, right? Change this. No, do not go there. Change this to offset for both of them. And you'll see that it's effectively kind of changed the structure of this. But you can do that. And I probably will keep it this way when you guys release it, just so that like you guys have that extra room. But that's the first step. To add more, let's say you want to have more space for more destinations. Real simple. All you got to do, right? Auto scale. Scale it to offset, not scale. It's already at scale. Reason why is because scale will auto scale depending, like it'll auto scale depending on your screen. So like if you're on an iPhone, it'll look the same like size as it does for me. If that makes sense. If you use offset on an iPhone, it'll look different. And I can actually prove to you like how that works. So I'm going to undo this real quick. See, now it's back at scale. It's using the first numbers and not the second one. So if I go onto an iPhone, let's say, see, it's technically not I wouldn't say the same size, but like it fits most of it because it's auto scaling based on the resolution, which this is called the resolution of the phone. And so now if I was to go back, auto scale this, or no, I did not mean to add a constraint. That is going to suck. And there's really no way that I can cancel that. All right, so unit conversion, we'll just set this to offset for now for both of them. So you can see it changes to 320 to 30. So now if I go on an iPhone, you see how big it is? So that's what auto scale, or not really auto scale, but using the scale number itself does. It just kind of auto scales everything. So just remember to set that, back to how it's supposed to be, because if you don't, that's going to be tragic for you in the long run. So yeah. So let me just go and it's almost done. I gotta like actually wait for this to like finish up because yeah, it's gonna take forever. You know the vibes. Yeah, you click one wrong button and this is what happens. But yeah, essentially that's all you really have to do now. Now that that's done, okay, perfect. So LOL, let me just rename this again to LOL because I undoed it. So now that we've changed the size of this, right? And I'm just gonna show you this real quick on like how to do it. If you want more room to paste more destinations, it's real simple. You click the LCD scrolling frame. This is called a scrolling frame. And you just make it a little bigger under the canvas size is what it should say. See, my canvas size is at 4.5. Now, if I make it 5.5, oh, it's still on auto scale. That's what it is, isn't it? Yep, that's why. You see how it like automatically made itself bigger? Hence why you need to like change the size to offset. So size and position doesn't matter because there's a UI layout in there. So it just auto positions everything for me. One on bottom of the other based on the name of the thing. So canvas size, I want it to be 1 bigger. So now you see, now we have all this extra space here now. So like if I want to add another destination, which should be Z or Z, however you want to pronounce it, we'll add an LOL destination here. So LOL loser, you are bad. That's not gonna fit, so let's just make it say LOL loser. Okay, LOL loser, right? And then I could just name this to LOL1, let's say, because I want to have multiple LOL destinations. And you know what? For the LOL thing, what I'm just gonna make it say on the front of the train is just like the text LOL, because why not? Let me go and do that by finding where the front thing is. Where is, okay, we gotta go back to 29. I need to find one with a text label in it. There we go. See? And it automatically just put itself back there because of what we have, which is a list layout. So what a list does is it kind of, you can set it up so that it goes by name or by how you pasted things. So like right now it's like how I pasted things. I just duplicated so it automatically just put it all the way in the back. But we will change this text to LOL like this and make it bigger. Okay, I guess bigger does not work here. That is fantastic. That is as big as it's gonna get. All right. And just for the sake of it being in the rear, we got to go into the car 4, which is the last car of this because it's a 4-car consist. And just paste this into the rear one, into the rear sign, or else only the front sign is going to have it. So it's not that it's going to break or anything, but just it won't have it. So paste that in there, and that should automatically be in position. Perfect. Now, let's script our LOL destination here. So remember, I said that it has to be based on what the thing is named. So this is called LOL1. So all we got to do is just copy this here. Renamed Z2, which is the white lettering for me. It might be a different color for you, to LOL1. And now we can start changing our destination signs here. The first column here is what's on the route display, which is the very first big one, which is this thing right here. See? This is the lettering, like route letter. So we'll change the route lettering to L. How many, this number is how many times the sign is going to change. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. If it's at 1, it'll just say the same thing for the entirety of while you have it on, which would be not in service, no passengers, next train please, whatever the fuck you want to put on there. That's essentially what it's going to do. It's how many switches there is. So I only want one switch, or actually we'll do two, and we'll make it say LOL loser, get good bro. And then we don't have any information for the third one because we just want two, right? So we can just leave that blank, or just leave it as what it's saying because it's never going to reach there. But essentially, there you go. So now, if I was to go in game right now, press play here, and sign up the train as LOL, for example, which I think I left the front sign of the train. That is super loud for me, but you guys do not hear it. So let me lower the volume. Why is it on automatic? All right. I think the front is still signed up as LOL. Yeah, it is. So like the front won't scroll to LOL. Oh, dude, it deleted. I forgot to take off the auto deletion. All right. Let's let's turn that off. Yeah. And let me bring the LOL signage on the front back to where it was before, which was 1. Or at least that's what the script thinks. Let me change the rear as well so that it's at 1. Okay, perfect. All right. So now, now we can test it to see if it worked. So we'll start with the roll sign and we'll just see if it captured our button, which is LOL. Yep, it captured our button. So now it's going to scroll all the way down there. So that means we named it the same thing. And you can see the scroll lock here in progress. It's preventing me from selecting anything else, which is what that scroll lock is for. And now let's test out the LCD, which is all the way at the bottom. LOL loser. Yep, look at it right there. LOL loser. And then it's switching 2 times. Get good, bro. And then it'll switch back to LOL loser. See? It's that simple. It's not difficult. It took me 21 minutes to explain that to you. But this will automatically just scroll all the way to the LOL sign on the train and whatnot. But that's basically the hard stuff done. I will try to explain this by rushing through it. Scroll lock here. What this script is saying is that if the scroll off is off, then they can switch. But if it's on, to warn them about it and say that you cannot switch anything yet. You must wait. This right here is just the, it's kind of like what confirms that you clicked something in the LCD frame. So that's what this is explaining. This right here is just the thing that says, hey, we're scrolling. Please do not touch. Scroll lock is on. You see, that's what true means, is that it's on. These are the buttons that hide and show the UI. This right here is what shows and hides the destination frame for you to sign up your train. And all of these are just different sounds and functions of the train. So LD, left door open, right door open, LDC, left door close, RDC, right door close, emergency brake, delete button. And this is just what's on the UI to tell you your speed. That's all that does. On to the I do things. Again, previous here is what it was before. That's all that means. And so because let's say you're starting the script for the first time, there was nothing selected before. So you have to set this number to what the positioning is for the signs when the train spawns in, which now is 1 because it's on the A train, right? Current is where it's going to. And final, this, you don't have to worry about this. This does nothing. It does something, but it's not important. It just, what this does is determines how much time it takes to get from one sign to another. That's all that does. Player so far, don't got to worry about this. Scroll lock, same thing as what it was in the local script. Vargbot, do not worry about why this is called this. All this does, this is basically the bridge that connects the local script with the server script. It's like, kind of like, let's say that you're going on a bridge from Bronx to Manhattan. That's what this is. Vargbot is a remote event, and so it's that bridge. It just connects and says, okay, hey, I'm sending you this information. Please make this work. Thank you. And this captures that information and says, oh, you want me to change the route? Okay. What's the player? Okay, awesome. Is this the data? Yeah. How long should it take? This, and it does all the math, okay? And it calculates and gives you a smooth transition. Here's the side sign, LCD, and all. It's a really simple script. All this does is just change the signs. Horn, these are all the sounds here. They're very simple. Doors open. DO is what this stands for. Doors closed. DC. You can basically kind of figure out which one does what just by seeing these here. Emergency brake, in case you don't want an emergency brake, just delete this because who needs emergency brakes, am I right? And this down here actually changes the side LCDs. That's what this is for. So yeah, if you want to add like a 4th text or something, all you do is just V, name it to text 4, and then you'd have to go into every side sign and then add a text 4 frame, essentially. And effectively, that's how the R46 works. There's nothing else really to it. All the sounds are in these parts called bass, compressor noises, clacks, AC noises. It's all in here. But effectively, that's how it works. And if you change the UI and still want to use similar scripting, you can. Just make sure that you rename everything the same as what it was before. And that should basically solve all the issues. And remember, your best friend when it comes to scripting is the output. The output will tell you everything, especially when they have print statements. So here, through the output, I can see that it received my request to change the signs. It's changing the signs, and that the final number, which is where I'm going to, is 28 apparently, which means it's doing, it's going to take me about like 28, like 30 seconds to get to where I want to go. The final number is basically just telling you how many spaces there is to get to your goal. And so because we were at 1 and we were going to 29, 29 minus 1 is 28, okay? Scrolling in progress, this is when I clicked it to try to change the signs. Obviously, it failed. And it's just telling us that the scrolling is in progress, obviously. And then again, receiving request, which was for the side destination sign. So the output is your friend. It tells you everything that's going on with your train. See that I have an error here. Train GUI is not a valid member of vehicle seat. Why did we get this error? Because remember, we moved the UI from the drive seat to the player GUI so we can see what our GUI is doing and see what it's like up to, right? So if I was to move this back, I wouldn't get this error. But you can effectively see how the output is basically going to be like your savior. It'll explain everything to you. Now, it may not explain it in grave detail, but it's there. Now, as for when this train will get released, do not know. We are working on new trucks because those trucks are not ours, but it will be released soon. And we're doing this in hopes that people who don't have good trains or don't have trains at all can use them to start their own groups. So that's what this is for. It's not perfect. There's other trains coming, which the next one would be the R68 that would come as well, which uses a similar scripting and has the little vargbot and the I do things script, but still it's not up to date with our current scripting. Of course, we're releasing the old stuff for now, and we'll slowly get to the newer stuff with time. But it's kind of like giving you ham downs, and you know, it sounds fucked up, but I mean, it's better than nothing. Okay, so cancel me. It is what it is. But yeah, hope this helps. Start learning it now so that when it releases, it's easier for you. Okay, great, awesome. Later, losers. Get good, bro. Later.